Do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Dr. Willie Jolley, singing some music from my jazz album, Close to You, on my jazz, williejolly.com/jazz. That'll take you there. That's it. I'm Dr. Willie Jolley. This is my beautiful bride.
This is Dee.
We're the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. We've been married for 39 years, and we have not had an argument in over 37 years, and people still say they don't believe it's true, but it is true. And that's due to the fact that we got systems. And the systems have been employed even though we don't always agree. We disagree.
That's because we always agree with you.
Who is we? Everybody?
You and me. We agree with you.
Oh, we agree with me.
A sense of humor.
That sense of humor.
Goes
That's
a long
what
way.
Pastor Jenkins said. His wife said, what was she said? Something of, we both in love with the same person.
Him.
You, okay, so that's funny. Anyway, we are the authors of the book Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, and the host of the popular TED Talk, How to Never Ever Argue Again in Marriage. And we want everybody to go to watch that and share that with everybody you know who's married. Because we found so many married folks are arguing, and then the arguments lead to all sorts of other issues, and they end up breaking up over minor things that could be fixed while they're still small. So we encourage everybody who's married to go to jolleymarriage.com, watch the TED Talk, and then share it with everybody you know who's married. Because we've had so many people say that one short talk transformed their marriage and kept them from arguing. So do that. It'll be a blessing. It's free. Also, for those who are connected to us, we want you to send us issues. We got tissues. I had a TV show one time where you got issues, I got tissues, let's talk. And we got to know people have marital issues, and sometimes they want to be anonymous. They might have some concern about their privacy.
I think it should be anonymous.
Yeah, they should. Well, let me finish. They should be anonymous. So what we have done is say, send us an email with your issue, your concern about your relationship, something you're dealing with that is problematic, or something you're dealing with that's great. Whatever you want us to discuss, we will give our point of view on it, our perspective. We will never use your name, and we will never put your business as it's about you, okay? Greg and Linda are watching from home. We'll be in Denver next week. We'll see you in Denver next week. And so we might as well tell everybody now, next week will be not a live, it will be a pre-recorded show, because we will be in Denver.
Yes, dear.
Mm-hmm. The national speakers. I'm the sitting Cavett Award recipient. The Cavett Award is the highest award in the speaking industry. I'm honored to have been the recipient of the Cavett last year. So this year I get the blessing to be able to give the Cavett to this year's recipient. And that person doesn't know who it is. I don't know who it is. No one will know who it is except the president of the National Speakers Association. They're the only ones who will know up until the moment it's announced. And I plan to do that announcing. Okay. Greg and Linda, we'll see you next week. Evolving Minds Tutor Services. Thank you. Evolving Minds Tutor Services from Zebulon, North Carolina. Oh, so glad you're here. And God bless you, and keep tutoring those evolving, growing minds and helping them to think through their challenges
Absolutely
with their skill sets.
Thank you for what you do.
Yeah, thank you. We have a lawyer son who is a lawyer because of tutors. Tutors in high school, tutors in college.
He had tutors in middle school too.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Tutors. You know, people need to know how important that is. So if you're in North Carolina, I want you to look up on IG, Evolving Minds _ tutor services, and see how they can help you and your child with issues. Because I'm telling you,
I think everybody needs a tutor because you don't
it's like a mentor or coach.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Jordan won a championship after 7 years of being in the league and not winning a championship because he had a good coach, a good tutor, a good mentor. Things change.
There's not enough time because you don't get individualized attention and instruction in class.
Here's the funny thing.
9 years.
Here's the funny thing. My son would say, you know, he felt some kind of way about getting tutoring until he realized, because he always in private school, until he realized that the other kids who were doing well had tutors. Come on, somebody. Once he realized that tutoring was one of the secrets to their success and they were the top of the class, that's when he got over his issues, his pride issues, his question about what will people think.
I think sometimes with tutoring, they think, oh, I need a tutor, I must not be smart.
No.
It's because of the tutoring that helps you to be smart, to understand more.
Or as Les Brown says, many people think there's weakness in asking for help. He said, but no, when you ask for help, you're not being weak. You're learning how to help, how somebody can help you so you can help others. Okay? It does not make you weak. It helps to keep you strong. I love that quote.
And I think every young person, every person needs a tutor because there's not enough time in the classroom to give each child what they need. And sometimes many times, you don't want to admit that you don't know. So you just sit there and not ask questions.
Evolving Minds said, I've been very successful. I am a former educator, kindergarten, and in service via Zoom. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, let's get on with this week's show. That was great. Thank you for that information. Now, we got a issue that has come to us that we want to discuss.
Okay, the topic is caught in the middle.
Caught in the middle.
My spouse hates the mother of my child. So why don't you give the backstory?
The wife hates the mother of the child. Here's the backstory. This guy had a child that was 9 years old, and the mother and the 9-year-old were not together anymore. He met another lady who he got engaged to. They were working on the wedding, and during the wedding planning, they had a disagreement about some aspect of the wedding. Again, small things, if you don't have a system, small things can become big. They got in an argument, words were said, and they broke up.
Planning the wedding. Planning
the doggone wedding. Well, they broke up. While they are apart, he starts seeing a woman in their town who happened to be the hairdresser of the former fiance,
who is now his wife.
Hold on, you can't jump ahead.
I'm sorry.
Would you not jump ahead, please? Because you mess up the context of the story.
I'm sorry.
So
you forgive me?
I forgive you. I love you. Now the guy starts seeing this woman who's the hairdresser of this woman he was supposed to marry, but they broke up. So he has relations with this woman who's the hairdresser, and she gets pregnant. Well, he doesn't know she's pregnant in that month, 6 weeks, whatever time it is for her to realize she's pregnant. In that month, 6 weeks, he reconciles with the fiance, and they decide to go ahead and scrap the wedding and go ahead and get married. They got married, and then he finds out, they might elope like we did, finds out the hairdresser who he had the relations with is pregnant. And so she has a son, but he's married to his original.
So now he has two children.
Two children.
And none by his wife.
None by his wife.
Okay.
So 3 years go down the road, and then he comes to the wife. Now, the wife says she's fine with the mother of the 9-year-old. But she got issues, a problem with her former hairdresser who slept with her was to be her husband. And they've talked about while she's getting her hair done, she's expressed about their relationship. You know, women.
So she had hair therapy.
Yeah, I know what that's called. That's what it's called.
I don't know if that's what it's called or not.
But it's that
therapy. A lot of people say the hairdresser is a therapist because they just kind of
right. So the hairdresser knew they had the dude when she were engaged. So she's no problem with the mother of the 9-year-old, but she got an issue.
So what's the
with
the
hairdresser? So now here's the issue on the table. Guy comes to the wife and says, "I want to." Husband comes to the wife and says, "I want to take my boys on family vacation to Disney World."
Great idea.
And the mother of the 3-year-old is planning to attend as well.
Okay.
But I don't want you to go because you hate her. And you will, therefore, be mean and nasty to her. And that will mess up the whole vacation. It'll be nothing but drama. So I want you to stay home. I'll take the kids. She can go, and maybe she has her own room. They didn't discuss that. They just said
we don't know that.
We don't know that. We don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
That was not a part.
That was not part of the conversation that we got privy to. But he came to the wife and said, "You know, you have issues with this. It will get ugly. I don't want you to go." The wife therefore says, "If I don't go, when you get back, I will not be here." Okay, somebody put a thumbs up already. So the question is, if he said, what should I do? So we have had a conversation about this. This is a very, very interesting email, letter. Wow. So here's what I said. I want us to go with you first. No, you go first because you're no. Okay. I said, first of all, this is messy. Okay, that's first of all. This is a messy situation. And it did not have to be this, first of all. Well, we know if they hadn't broke up, he would never started seeing a hairdresser. And they broke up with a lot of minor stuff that became major. And then the hairdresser moved in and got pregnant. First of all, they should not have broken up over minor stuff. Second, he should have been wise enough to know that there are precautions for having sexual relations that can keep you from impregnating a woman. Or the woman could also have the mindset to say there are precautions that a woman.
Maybe they didn't want to take precautions.
Obviously. And so that's second, they would allow. The third is that this situation with the wife, and the wife who now is wife, and this mother of the child, they got history, but they also need therapy. Family therapy. They need to be family counseling to realize the baby ain't going away. The mother of the baby ain't going away. The wife is going to have to live with this baby and this mother, and that's it. It reminds me of Mrs. Brown, our neighbor, who I write about in the book, whose husband impregnated 2 women in the neighborhood. While she was married, Mrs. Brown was married to him.
He needed to have been neutered.
She married. He impregnated.
Somebody agree?
He impregnated 2 women two different women in the neighborhood who had children, and Mrs. Brown accepted those children into her home. And
Well, it wasn't the children's fault.
I know, and stayed with the husband, worked through it.
After he was altered?
I don't think after his altered. So that's first. They need therapy, they need counseling. And then they need to know this that there has to be a place of peace and communication. And so the husband has to be open and willing to help them to have communication. Next thing. We, my wife and I, don't take separate vacations. Ever. Never have. Never will. She has asked, could she go and get a retreat from me because I gotten on her nerves and she needs a break? And she'll say, I'm going away. I say, where are we going? When we going? Let me check my schedule on my calendar. If you're going, I'm going. That's how we are. We are one. So this wife has to say, this is not a question of you going without me. You go, I go. You don't. If I don't go, you can't. You shouldn't go. That's my position. And finally, it's messy because there's all sorts of feelings involved in it. It's hurt feelings. It's some feeling of
they're unresolved issues,
but they're feeling
that
of
should have been
But
addressed.
what do you do now, though? That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, they're unresolved issues
that need to be addressed.
So they need counseling. Now here you said they need, yes,
Counseling, therapy, whatever.
But you have to be prepared for one to say, I don't want to do it. Like the mother of the 3-year-old she might like the position that she's in.
Okay.
To cause havoc.
Okay, well then you know what? Then she stay home. This is his wife. If anybody goes with him, now the only other scenario is there's some hanky-panky still going on with the mother of the 3-year-old, and this is a try and get an excuse for them to get away and have their hanky-panky time. Okay. Now I don't know that.
So what comes first, the wife or the child?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay.
I don't know.
For the father, the husband. Who does he lean to? I want to take my child on vacation.
Yes.
And I don't know if the mother has to come. He says the mother's coming.
Right.
Does she have to go? And
that's the question. It's not about not about the child. It's about the mother of the child and the wife. And the wife has no problem with the child.
Oh,
she's good with the child.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't like the mother of the child. Because the mother and her have history, and she feels betrayed by the mother of the child.
And perhaps she has been. So now what?
So
she got to get over it.
Well, no, one or two things. One or two things. One, that the mother of the child does not go, and the wife goes in her stead. Or two, they both go, and they work through it. It's an uncomfortable vacation, but they work through it and realize this is how it's going to be. Mother is not going to disappear. The wife says, I'm not going anywhere. Right. Okay. But the husband cannot go on his trip without his wife. That's Mr. Husband. Hope you are listening to. You asked the question, what should you do? You take them both, or you take your wife and you leave the mama of the baby home. Period.
So for him to consider taking the mother of the baby boy and now his wife speaks to
that's a poor choice. I don't know whether they having affairs or marital infidelity. I don't know.
I was going to say it speaks to some marital issues that you would leave your wife And
He
then
says it was because the
maybe-
wife got drama and she could be drama filled with this woman.
So then the wife also has to work on not being drama filled.
That's correct.
Huh?
There's a lot of growing up to do in this whole
Yes.
thing. There's a lot of, I mean, look, Mr. Man, let me say this to you. Thank you for your letter, and I appreciate it. But you got to grow up. My wife was married before. Me and her ex-husband, we're cool. Because we don't have no drama in our house. When he came by the house to visit us, I hugged him. And the first time I did it, he was, I thought you were supposed to not like me. I said, no, man, I don't have drama like that. That's a decision. When I was a child, I thought like a child, acted like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Now, on the other hand, I had a child before she and I were married. Dee and I were married. And there could be a lot of drama, but wherever I went to visit my daughter in North Carolina, Dee went with me. Okay, and it was uncomfortable. It was.
Whether they were pleasant or even acknowledged me, I was still pleasant. I had no reason not to be.
Well, her mother always was pleasant. She's always been. There were maybe some other surrounding folks who were, but her mother was always pleasant. There was never issue with her mother. Never. Her mother has been always. But we grew up out of that. And when her mother got married,
we were there.
We were there. And the cameraman, the videographer didn't show up, and I said, I'll do the camera. I ran the camera, or I did the videography of the wedding of my daughter's mother when she got married, because we got past all of that modern stuff. So we know what we're talking. We know of which we speak. Y'all have got to grow up and to stop all the drama. This is the decision.
Because you know what? It adversely affects the children.
Absolutely.
How do you raise healthy,
happy, loving,
well-rounded, children who don't need a psychiatrist because they're so jacked up?
That's right.
How you treat each other.
That's right. So we are saying this to you with nothing but love, but clarity. Mr. Husband, thank you for your note, but you cannot go to this vacation without your wife. Period. Full stop.
And I would add, wife, you have to learn to control.
Yeah, wife. Yes, and let your wife see this broadcast, the replay.
There are issues
if
on
she's
that
not
side
watching
too.
Okay.
Okay, she's betrayed by the girlfriend. That happened. Now what you gonna do?
That's right. You got to grow up too, and
It's
you got to
like,
be
how
mature.
do you rise above that?
That's right.
You gonna fight forever?
Yeah, no drama. We don't do drama. We got a no drama zone.
Because it's ruining your relationship with your husband, who loves his two sons.
That's right. That's right. And so,
and that becomes a no-win situation.
And no win. There's no. Look, this drama will keep going. It'll come up in different forms until you say we're not going to let it destroy our family. That's really what it is. We're not going to let this destroy our relationship, our family. We're not going to let it. So we're going to rise above it. And we're going to be civil. We're going to be Christ-like. We're going to forgive. We're going to love.
It takes two people to argue.
Yep.
So if you rise above it and don't return vitriol for evil for evil, it's kind of hard to argue and be mean to somebody who chooses to act like it doesn't exist.
That's right. That's exactly right. I think this is the answer. I hope this is the answer. Well, now, I hope this helped you. This is the answer we're going to give you. Straight, no chaser. 1. We're not going to talk about what you should or shouldn't have done in the past. That's water over the bridge. Here's what you got to do now. You do not go on vacation without your wife. Period. Full stop. If y'all still got to bring the mother, the two women have to come together. And they have to be mature. And they have to be kind to each other. And that's
work.
And that's work.
Yep.
And that's a conversation. And you might have to go to a counselor and get some counseling before the trip.
I think that's necessary. I think that's absolutely necessary.
And those kids
get the anger and all this other
and those kids should never see any drama, arguing.
Because the children know unhealthy environment. They know when mom and dad and everybody walking on eggshells and being ugly.
That's right. That's right.
So y'all have to work it out.
Got to work it out. So, okay, I hope that answered it. This was we really wanted to talk about it. He's caught in the middle, but he can get out of the middle. He can get in a position where he says, okay, here's what we're going to do. And it's hard.
And it also requires mutual respect.
Last thing.
People's parts.
Last thing I'm going to recommend. Pray. Mr. Man, pray. When my daughter was a teenager, she was rebellious. And it was very uncomfortable. She was disrespectful to my wife. She was disrespectful to our house. And it was a lot of drama. I didn't know what to do. And I went to my mama. I said, Mom, I don't know what to do. This is driving me apart. I love my wife. I love my daughter. And it's just, and she said, I've never been in that situation because your father had no children when we got married and we had you and your brother. But she said, I've had many situations where I didn't know what to do. And in those moments, I learned to pray and ask God for wisdom. And here's the thing, Willie. She said, Willie, when you ask God for wisdom, he will give it to you. And everything, when I would pray and use the wisdom God gave me, it would work out fine. And I did that. I prayed and asked God for wisdom, and he gave me wisdom on how to handle these situations between my daughter and my wife, and it worked out fine. My daughter calls my wife all the time. They're very loving. No drama, no problems. She calls all the time. She comes up to see us. Our grandchildren, same, no problem. We pray for wisdom because there are going to be times you don't know what to do. So when you don't know what to do what I'm telling you to do now. Pray for
and just
wisdom.
Be kind. Doesn't cost you anything to be kind.
Well, it doesn't, but that wisdom will help kick in that kindness. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Our time is just about up. We want to encourage everybody to go to jollymarriage.com and get 2 copies of the marriage book. One for you and one for your significant other. Read it together. Don't read it one and then read it together. At the end of each chapter, talk about what you learned, your thoughts. Write in the margins, right through the book, and then discuss those points. We've had people who've been married 15, 20 years that when they get to the end of the book, they had tears in their eyes, so they learned so much about their spouse. We've had people who've been married 40 years who've used the book. So one lady told me the other day, I told you this when I came home. She said, I've been married for 38 years. I don't know if I'm going to make it to 39. I laughed kind of, like that was a joke. She said, I'm not playing. She said, I've got real problems in my marriage. I don't know if we're going to make it because it's not been a happy 38 years.
Wow.
I said, get the book, 2 copies. Also, everybody go to Jolley Marriage, watch the marriage show, TED Talk. How to never ever argue again in marriage. Use the system. And number 3, if you got issues in your marriage, whether it's financial, whether it's sex, whether it's communication, whether it's I'm talking about 2 different things.
Okay.
If you got these financial whatever, you go to our repair series, our relationship repair series. We did it last June, and it is 5 parts. 1 part is on communication, finances, money, sex, family, and blended families. And then there's a 6th bonus session on the 11 biggest mistakes people make in relationships and how to fix them. You can get that at jollymarriage.com/events. jollymarriage.com/events. It's a small investment that is better than a divorce lawyer. Amen? They're better than the cost of a divorce lawyer.
I still think we should.
Are we going to interview them? I thought you were going to. We got one of the top divorce lawyers.
Interesting.
In the world, and he had a married wife, been married for 50 years, and he tells the secret how they stay together while he's helping
other people
separate and take their money. And he's a great guy, and I love him. But he got a big old Bentley because the people are paying him big dollars for a divorce. Okay, let's go.
Let's end with communication.
Communication.
How to talk civilly, kindly, caringly to each other. And that is something that we all can learn. Unfortunately, it is not something that automatically occurs in every household, because we tend to become what we have been exposed to, unless we make a very conscious, deliberate effort that we want to do something else. And then we find role models, mentors, coaches to help us grow in the area of relationships.
Amen. Want to give one last shout out to all my family members from the Jolley family reunion, Jolley Robinson family reunion that happened this last weekend in Dorchester County, Maryland, where we went to the Harriet Tubman Museum only to discover that the first person Harriet Tubman freed, came back from the North to free and take from slavery, because it was her niece who was about to be sold into slavery in the South. She took her niece. Her niece's name was Kanaya Jolley Baxter, I think her last name. So Harriet Tubman, her family, she had people in her family who were Jollies. I might be kin to Harriet Tubman, and I'm good with that. What a blessing. All right. If you ever go to Dorchester County, you got to go to the Harriet Tubman Museum. It is incredible. Incredible. What a woman, and what a person who loved God and said that the Lord led her, and she never was captured, never lost
She lived to be 90.
Yes. And said you never lost one passenger on her freedom train. Not one. All right. Our time is up. We got to go. We will be here next week. Not live, but by tape, so you can get a good new message. We'll be back next week. See you then. Tell everybody to know to tune in on IG, on Facebook Live, on Instagram Live. We are discontinuing the Twitter Live, but we are going to be on LinkedIn Live. So Facebook, IG, and LinkedIn Live. And then you can always see the replays on the Jolley Marriage Show on YouTube. All right, here we go with music from my jazz album. God bless you. Have a great day.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.